How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new here, do me a huge favor, go ahead and subscribe. Before you start into the video, I got another modification, or I guess kind of the first modification really, to the Miata. For those who missed the last couple of videos, we took the interior apart once again in order to do a couple of things, mainly the door cards. Now, I said probably 2 weeks ago, by the end of the week, I would be done with the door cards. And then I got to thinking, since the door cards are already out, why don't I get myself some speakers? Because the original Miata speakers are a little torn in this car, and it doesn't sound very good, honestly. So what I did was I reached out to Third Millennium. They hooked it up with a set of speakers for this car. We're gonna be installing them today, and I'm gonna give you guys my thoughts on the speakers and the overall quality of them, compare them to stock. Sound clips, I mean, you can't really do sound. I'll show you guys what I mean by the speakers kind of like distorting a little bit, and then we'll check out the new speakers and see how they compare. Before we do anything with the car, let's go take a look at the actual product and see what's in the box that they sent me. If you're interested in these, make sure to go check out their website. I'll leave everything down below, and let's get into the unwrapping and check out what we actually have here. So the Miata build is a little bit on a pause because I was waiting for these to come in. I'm also getting materials ready for my custom door cards, and we'll be installing custom door cards instead of my OEM door cards, but let's check it out. So we have all of the kind of installation and everything here. It's pretty easy, pretty straightforward. We'll take a look at this in just a second here. I'm actually really excited to install these because one of my complaints about the car was when I did listen to music, it was always just subpar and I never really enjoyed the experience. They should provide some quality. So they definitely look new. They definitely don't look like old speakers. They're also pretty heavy. I mean, they're built really solid. So there's a simple plug and play. It should be really simple just to get these in the cars. I love when aftermarket parts are hooked up to everything OEM. It makes everything so simple and you don't have to be fussing with wires, especially I don't like messing with wires. Let me read the instructions, take a look at everything we've got, and then I will see what we have to do and what our next step is. I think it should be pretty straightforward, but I just want to make sure I'm not doing anything wrong. So after reading the instructions, it's exactly what I thought it would be, and it's a very simple thing. There's 3 screws, 1 clip, and we should be able to get it. Since my door cards are already out, I don't have to do that. If you have a 1990 through 1993 Miata, those Miatas have these speakers separate, and you can simply just lift the tabs off of the little speaker cover, which is this piece right here. You can simply just pry this off and you get access to the speaker that's underneath it, and that's all you need to access. If you have a later car, you're gonna have to take the entire panel off. So if you need to take the entire door card out, let's flash back to about 2 weeks ago where I took my door cards off. So this is how you take out the door card. There's a clip underneath here. There's a couple of different pins that go across here. There's 1, 2, 3 bolts for the door handle. I don't have my handle on, so I don't have them. There's 1 screw right there. And then there's clips that go all the way across. So what I'm gonna do is find my pin that's in my crank. We're gonna take the speaker out, then we're gonna take the little screw that's underneath there, and then we should be able to get the whole door card out. You see a little shiny part? That is the pin that I need to pull out. So you have to find where the top of the clip is. This is the clip. You find the top of the clip. I just used this kind of bent nose plier, and I pinched it and pulled it, and it should be out. Set that to the side, make sure you don't lose that, and just like that, this comes out. So I got the screwdriver. There's a screw right under here, which we are going to take out and put to the side. You make sure you don't want to lose any of these, obviously. And what we're gonna do is, there's 4 clips in the speaker. And just like that, this panel comes out. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's 2 clips here as well. There's clips around the entirety of this door card. So if you pull, or if you get under, my door card is like torn on the bottom, which is why it's already hanging. I'm sure some of the clips are already broken, but just be careful. Get a little prier tool. If you have a plastic pry tool, use that and just get the door card off. That's another piece you have to take out. So you just slightly open the door. I was like, this has to come out somehow, but so this cover just comes out and then this gets left in the card. So make sure you take that out as well. Kind of just learning as I go. Just like that, I have my door card out. And there is my door card. One thing to keep in mind, those little clips are very brittle. You want to make sure that you have all of them fully intact, because I was told these speakers produce a lot of bass, meaning that the door cards are going to be vibrating a little bit, and if those aren't put in properly, yeah, you're gonna have a little bit of vibration that you don't want in the card. Also, if you do break it, they offer all of the replacements for everything, so I would suggest you take off the door card before you order the speakers so you know everything that you may have broken. All of that being said, let's actually get these speakers in the car and see what they sound like. So before we get the new ones in, we gotta take the old ones out. There's 3 screws right here, so let's get those out and see what's underneath it. Can do my best and get all of these out real quick. So now I have gotten all 3 of the screws out. As you can see, my little plastic piece here is actually broken. If we get in there, so what I'm going to do is carefully, maybe not so subtly, okay, it's a little magnetic there, so pull this out. I think these might be aftermarket speakers because of all the wires that are here. These speakers are already aftermarket. I don't like how these ones sound, and that's why I wanted to get a new set because they distort and they break apart a lot. Not sure if that's because of the age, how they were treated or whatever, but the thing is, the wiring is all different. So now I have to figure out how to change the wiring, which is super annoying. So what I'm gonna do is take a second to figure out what I have to do in order to make this work and in order to make the new speakers work. Okay, so kind of what I have done is I assumed the original wiring was spliced from right here, and all of this is new stuff because you can see the difference right here. So since mine is spliced, maybe at one point I will go ahead and, you know, fix it the proper way. But for now, what I have done is, if I take this out, you can quickly just disconnect these from here. I assume you can just hook them up to the speaker directly, which is what I'm gonna do for now. So I put 1 screw in there just to make sure it sets in place properly. I did get sent new screws, as does everyone. They sent hardware. My hardware isn't OEM, so I don't really care about putting back the OEM, and it's actually just like cheap stuff. So I'm gonna use the new stuff that I got because they're all gonna be the same. Trying to be as careful as I can with everything in order to make sure I don't puncture this thing in any way. So the problem I was having was that it was getting caught on this outside ledge here, so I'm just making sure to move it around so it's not touching that in any way. Everything seems to be working. You definitely hear the loose pieces in the door card wiggling around a little bit. As you heard them before as well with the old ones, these do have a little bit more bass, and I'm sure I can set it with the Pioneer system that I have, and I'm pretty sure I had it set all the way up, and the distortion seems to go away. The only way to really test that is to do both and then play the music I was listening to on a daily basis back in the summer and see whether it comes up or not at the same volumes I was listening to it at. That being said, I'm going to quickly swap over and take that one out and get that one installed. So far, it seems like a worthy upgrade. I'm not sure how the OEMs stack up in the summertime. I'll let you know because I do have a friend who has Miata with stock speakers. So I think we're going to do a little comparison whenever we get our cars out again. I did think my speakers were stock, but now that I look at them, now the wiring is a little different, and when you look at the back of them, they don't really look too OEM, so I think they were changed at some point. I think the biggest hint of that is the wiring, obviously. So let's get the other one swapped out, and then I'll let you guys know how it sounds. So I now have both speakers in. They look really nice. I had a little bit of trouble getting this one in. The bolts are a little finicky because they are so big, but they have to be that big, I guess, to keep the speaker in place. These are the old speakers right here. Comparing them to the new ones, they're really similar, but the overall fit and finish of the other ones are a little bit nicer. They weigh about the same amount, but I think these new ones, just from a quick sound test that I did, sound a lot better than these do. Like I said before, it's really hard to do a sound test other than just letting you guys know what I think and my opinions. In the summertime, I'm going to do a little bit of an in-depth review of them. That being said, let's get some music in them and see how they sound even without really having too much to go off of. So here's a quick before. It's very hard to quantify the speaker sound. I'll try to get my very best to get the speaker kind of breaking apart a little bit. It's very hard to hear and very hard to catch on camera, but the speaker is breaking a little bit, and that's definitely not something that I want. So let's go with an after and see how they sound after the installation. So first thing off the bat, you can definitely tell that they are very bass oriented and they have a very good bass to them. What you're hearing is not the speaker distorting. Before you heard a little bit of distortion. Now what you're hearing is just this wrapper vibrating a little bit. So when I install my door cards, I need to do a very good job of making sure I do my best to make it as secure as possible, because I know that thing is going to rattle when I have the bass turned up. Number two, they sounded really clear, like really clear compared to the other ones. Before I heard a little bit of distortion. I'm going to listen to some music for about 15 minutes and then let you know my thoughts when I actually have like a little bit of basis to go off of. So I listened to a couple of songs. Overall, everything seems to be much better than it was before, except this right speaker is buzzing a little bit from what I'm hearing. So I'm pretty sure this has to do with the power it's receiving, but if you listen closely. So I'm not sure how to fix that. If you guys know in the comment section down below. That's the only complaint I have though. Other than that, I only have good things to say because they honestly don't like crackle or distort in any way compared to the other ones at volume. That seems like a thing that I need to dial down. Overall, that's a little installation, a quick little review as well. More in-depth review of the sound after I make sure I get everything down and solid. Check them out for yourselves. Get yourself a set of speakers, headrest speakers, whatever you need. Also all the accessories for the clips and pins and door panels and other things that you may have broken along the way that you can all replace with their website. Custom door card video coming soon. Stay tuned for that and much more Miata content. If you guys did enjoy this video, please do me a huge favor, subscribe to the channel. Other than that, I will see you guys in the next video.